The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf.
Yeah, we've hit the high-grade core in holes 12, 13, and 28. We've hit that. We now just, for the first time, we've figured out where it goes. And again, this is a product of integrating that newly resolved 3D geometric model with some new surface information.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Dr. Tim Coughlin. He's the CEO and President of Road Minerals. Tim, very good to speak with you again. For new investors, can you explain what a porphyry skarn system is and why 96 meters at 1.1 grams per tonne gold equivalent is a result worth getting excited about?
Hi, Stephen. It's good to see you again. A porphyry system is a large intrusion-related gold, generally, or copper type system. The best way to think of them is of some sort of a balloon type geometry, generally about 1 kilometre across. And then as these things are emplaced, if you think of a natural analogy, I suppose, is a magma chamber, which I think most of your listeners or your viewers will be familiar with. If you can imagine a magma chamber being emplaced in rocks, then it's very hot. The environment it's being emplaced in is 2 or 3 kilometres down the crust, maybe more. It cooks the surrounding rocks. If those surrounding rocks are limey, like limestones, then you produce a skarn. If they're not, then you produce a big alteration signature. So what we have is a porphyry as the nucleus or the core of the system, and that's cooking these reactive rocks around the outside to give us this big skarn shell around it.
Well, you've now identified 3 porphyry targets at GAM, 2 of them barely touched by drilling. How does that change your sense of the scale of what you might have here, Tim?
Well, it changes it significantly, I have to say. And, you learn something new every day out on these projects, and there's a lot of value just to being out in the field. But what we've done is we've reprocessed. Well, first of all, we've acquired some new drone-borne geophysics and reprocessed some of the historic IP and some of the magnetics as well that Anglo conducted in the past. Colombia is well known for being a difficult environment in which to acquire and interpret magnetics. It's steep topography. There's lots of what's called remnant magnetism, so magnetic rocks, and so it takes a bit of work using drill core principally to basically calibrate that geophysics and then remodel it. So that's what we've done. We've taken the time to take conductivity and mag measurements down the drill core, and then we've used that in complex sort of 3D modeling to reprocess our new drone magnetics and Anglo's old induced polarization data. And that revealed these 3 centers, which are very obvious now, obviously, power of retrospect. But what we can also see close to those centres is where either we or Anglo have been poking some drill holes or have some surface geochemistry corroborating those geophysical targets. So it gives us, I think we're looking at around about 6 square kilometres there now of alteration sitting, so that shell that I alluded to previously, sitting around these 3 porphyry cores. It immediately increases the scale to what we believe is tier 1 potential. If it didn't have tier 1 potential, we wouldn't be drilling it.
Tim, multiple holes are still open at depth and the system keeps dipping southwestward. Where do you think the high-grade core is, and where does the drill bits go next?
Well, I think we've hit the high-grade core in holes 12, 13 and 28. And your viewers can see those results if they get on our corporate presentation on the website, roadminerals.com. We've hit that. We now just, for the first time, we've figured out where it goes. And again, this is a product of integrating that newly resolved 3D geometric model with some new surface information. So we hit that. It's barely exposed on surface. It's really quite neat. So it literally, the high-grade core or the porphyry stockwork exposes in about a 20-metre long, very thin outcrop sitting at the bottom of a quebrada, and then that's it. And to be honest, if that wasn't there, I don't think we would have discovered this thing. So it's there on surface, and now we're following it down dip.
Tim, what would a significant discovery at GAM mean for Royal Road as a whole?
Well, it moves us up to the position where we want to be. I suppose what you're asking is, is whether we would anticipate mining something like that, being an exploration company. But, I guess there are various options when we get to that point. Either we do have an emerging major miner as a significant shareholder on our register, Rio 2. We'll see. I mean, they're good problems to have.
Upcoming milestones that your investors should be looking out for, Tim?
The drill results at Margaritas. So just quickly on that one, Margaritas is a porphyry about 4 kilometres south of Guintar. It is the M in the GAM acronym, so Guintar, Aleman, Margaritas. We've drilled the first 4 drill holes ever to be drilled on that prospect. They're all from one pad because it's difficult to access. We actually had to use a helicopter to get up there. All those drill holes are in the laboratory, and we're waiting on results.
Well, Tim, I hope you'll keep us updated with your progress on that. Thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Thanks, Stephen. My pleasure.
Dr. Tim Coughlin, he is the CEO of Royal Road Minerals.
The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf. It is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, an offer, or a solicitation to buy or sell any securities. Viewers should conduct their own research and consult a qualified financial advisor before making investment decisions. The views expressed are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of Proactive Group Holdings, trading as Proactive Investors or its affiliates. No responsibility is accepted for any loss arising from reliance on the information presented.